They get the downstairs mix-up after they've had a baby. Yeah.
Wow. Are you telling me I have a downstairs mix-up because I've had a baby?
I'm pretty sure that's not what I said. But
You absolutely
did.
100% said you get a downstairs mix-up after you have a baby.
Well,
Welcome to Chaotically Nerdy, a podcast for nerds by nerds. Chaotically Nerdy is a podcast made by adults for adults and children with bad parents, which is me. Adult language and situations may arise. Listener discretion is
Hello,
advised.
everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. On this week's episode is me, Tyler.
And me, Jared.
and me, Ethan.
Me, Ashley.
Sorry, we're just really trying to piss Tyler off today.
And it's working.
Yeah.
It's not, actually, believe it or not. I'm not bad. At this point, I'm almost so used to it,
Yeah.
it doesn't piss me off.
He's expected.
Especially,
I'll
We
find
should
something
all
else.
stop for a little while.
here's the other thing. It's the middle of the day.
Yeah, he's not.
It's not 1 o'clock in the morning when we're trying to finish up the last episode, and then I'm like, get your fucking shit together.
I would like to go to bed,
together, guys.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, yeah. So that helps a little bit. This week, we're going to talk about the Apothecary Diaries.
Which can be found on Crunchyroll for anyone who's interested in watching it.
Because it is anime.
It is an
if You
anime.
haven't seen it anywhere.
It's like the first anime we've talked about in a hot minute, I think.
I think this is the first non-action anime we've ever talked about.
And
I mean, outside of
correct.
movies, because we did talk
Yeah.
about The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
That's not the same. This is the first this anime show
Anime show.
Non-shonen anime.
that we've actually going to be talking about.
you're
For the most
welcome.
part.
You are
I
welcome.
can't think of one we've talked about that's not shonen.
You're welcome.
It was Shannon.
Solo leveling, technically shonen.
It falls in the same category, though.
Yeah.
All right, and Ashley made the script. She's the one that suggested this show, so take it away.
Actually, technically, Ethan and I made the script, and Ethan's going to pull up and talk about the notable actors because, well, he was the one who knows people better than I
I
do.
think the only ones that I saw were two
Big
regular-
Daddy Gojo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Jinchi.
Kajite.
and there was another one, I can't remember his name.
No. Jinchi. That's who he plays in the
Oh, yeah,
show.
yeah,
Does he
no.
play-
That's not what I said. Kaji Tang,
Oh.
because that's, I believe, his real name.
But the other one was just another anime voice actor who's been in like everything. I can't remember his name either.
Jim something.
Yeah, it was a
It was a very basic white boy name.
white boy first name with
Generic white boy last
Jim.
name.
I'll have to
Jim
find
Smith,
it. I didn't
something like
write
that.
it down. I'll have to find it.
Who's
It
the
wasn't
play
Jim
in the-
Smith.
I don't remember. Hold on.
No, is it Gaoshun?
I think it's Gauchman.
It is Gaoshin.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I figured, because he sounded the most familiar out of everybody besides Jinchi. Want it?
Yeah, I'm going to play with that for a minute.
That's what she said.
That's what,
Literally.
yeah, that's actually, as a
Literally
matter
what
of
she
fact, what I
just-
said. For the
I'm-
record, I stole Jarrett's ADHD, like,
Fidget toy.
fidget spinner.
So whenever y'all hear him fucking with shit, you know why.
I'll give it back.
So the ones that I saw, I mean, Aoki Yuki, Ao, I can't pronounce it. Aoi,
Aoki?
Ao.
Ao Yuki is also in a whole bunch of anime. She plays the main character,
Mau.
Mau.
I cannot get behind the voice actor to open.
But I can't find. And then it's yeah,
Mau is a choice of
Kaijin
names.
Tang is Jinchi. And
Oh, there it is.
Gao Shan is played by
Alex Hom.
Jim Ferranda in the English version.
See, behind the voice actor has somebody else. It has Alex Hom. H-O-M.
Well, there's actually more than one for each one.
Well, I know, it says and one other. I'm trying to get it to load, but my phone, either my phone or
because
the internet's being slow. I don't know.
It's
which one.
saying both, so it may have changed halfway through the show. Who knows? You know.
That's interesting.
But it does say both. So it's kind of hard to figure out sometimes who is in the English cast for an anime.
Yeah.
It's
It is
also
sometimes
difficult
pretty hard.
because, like, if you watch Vinland Saga, it's on Netflix and it's on Crunchyroll. I didn't know this, but there's 2 different voice actors.
Really? They're like 2 different voice casts?
Yes.
Huh.
And
Reminds me of like Ocean dub of Dragon Ball Z and Funimation dub.
yeah, I found that out because I was watching on Netflix, and I watched the whole first season on Netflix just because that's where it was at the time, and it was easier. I didn't have Crunchyroll. I let it lapse and didn't pay for it. And then I turned around and was like, oh, I started watching season 2, but Crunchyroll was farther ahead than Netflix. So I was like, I'll switch to Crunchyroll. And then I went, that's not the right fucking voice actor. It's like, that's not his voice.
It does. It feels strange.
Yeah.
When you go between things.
I
and
think
it's not the same actor.
specifically, I think Askeladd was different. I don't know if anybody's even watched.
But it can
Vinland
be
Saga
really
here.
hard to research. Like if you're trying to look up who plays this, and because like if you recognize their voice, like Gao Shan, because he sounds familiar, or Jinshi. I mean, obviously he's obvious because it sounds like Gojo. I mean, it's just not as excited, and it's just kind of hard to figure out who's actually playing who. Sometimes,
Yeah, it absolutely can be. I found that behind the voice actor, it generally has the, like, it'll put the English people up first, obviously. I don't know why I said obviously, but it just helps with that because it's easier to find them that way. If you go to IMDb, it usually shows the Japanese voice actors first, and then you have
where
to
it's
dig.
really hard. Yeah, you have to really dig for it.
and occasionally, like IMDb will say that this is from the English version, and this one's not, but it doesn't always say that. And sometimes the voice actor for the Japanese is the same voice actor for the English. Very few cases, but sometimes, and they don't have a way to tell you that.
To differentiate.
All right. So my first question is, especially aimed at the weebs, what kind of anime is this? It's very episodic. To give a preface, like we have done for the last couple episodes, this story follows a young apothecary named Mao Mao, who is essentially kidnapped and taken to the rear palace where all of the concubines of the emperor live, and she is set to be a lady's maid, a lady lady's maid, a lady in waiting, essentially, and she solves some pretty interesting things during her time there, and then she gets fired for a short while.
And it also has some adult themes in it.
Yes.
That are, at least for American audiences, not really for kids.
No,
this is definitely not a children's anime.
No, I would not say so. But what kind of anime would you say it is? We've established that it's not a shonen.
Definitely leans towards seinen, which is like the female version of shonen. It's like it's made for younger girls.
You're thinking of
shoujo.
yeah,
Shoujo.
Seinen is
It's for young adults.
young adults.
Yeah, and males, young adult males is what Senen's for.
Yeah.
And then Josei is for adult women.
Yeah.
But it's categorized under like Crunchyroll. It's like a romance anime.
Yeah. Well,
Which, I mean, I could see it.
in a way it is, but for the most part, that's not the baseline. Of
It's
the
like
story.
romance mystery
Yeah.
is what it felt like watching
it's
a good majority of it.
It's a lot of it is it's like solving a crime.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we need to talk about how much we've watched. I know you two have watched all of it. Did you finish it, Jarrett?
Yes.
I finished all but 2 episodes.
We're through season 2 to the dub at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we're caught up.
Yeah,
at least.
we're beyond this point.
Beyond this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is surprising for us, honestly.
I, honest to God, didn't think I was going to get to watch more than 12. Which, because we didn't record
Well, there's
previously.
24 episodes.
And I didn't know there was 24. I stopped at 12 thinking that was the last episode. And then I happened to get on Crunchyroll and I went, oh, fuck.
Yeah, there's 12 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I watched them as many as I could fit in.
Do you normally watch anime like this?
Do I? No. I mean, I will. Like, there's nothing
No.
that would stop me, but
It's very rare that I watch a non-shonen anime.
yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess this is, slice of life?
It's close-ish.
Close-ish, but it's not quite.
There is like a plot to it, so it's not completely slice of life, which is how I usually define it is like if there's no plot, it's more slice of life.
Yeah. I usually watch more action.
Yeah.
I mean, I will watch mystery and stuff like that because, like, Death Note. That's the most, like, kind of mystery I can think of that I've watched. But it's still very tense. Mm-hmm. This is very relaxed through most of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most tense moment I seen was whenever she was trying to save Gojo, and she didn't know it was Gojo.
Jinshi.
Yeah.
Whenever the bell was in the temple.
Yeah.
I
think that's probably the most tense.
That's probably the most tense moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree
by far.
Mao Mao overall as a character doesn't. She seems very stoic. And, like, not a lot bothers her because in the very beginning of the show, you see her get kidnapped. And she's like, well...
This is my life now.
Shit. Okay.
She seems like she kind of understood... They play it up like the world... That's just kind of how the world is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she just understood that more so than some other people would. Because, like, her painting on her freckles so that she didn't appear too cute because that was deemed as... disgusting or something to that effect.
Well, unattractive.
She spends most of her time in the red district.
Yeah, the pleasure district of the city.
So, yeah, I can definitely understand why she would spend the time doing that and how she is as hardened to the world as she is in her position. But it was something that we had noticed that she was very stoic throughout the entire show. And as you get later on in the actual season itself, she loses some of that stoicism. Not much, but some of it.
It's almost like she gets more relaxed with the way things are going.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure it's about that. It's about, you kind of get this sense that she's developing a sense of justice instead of just standing off from on the sidelines, because she's helping these people do things and find criminals and trying to keep people alive. And then there's, which we'll talk about later about her father and stuff. So she feels more inclined towards ideals of justice rather than just neutrality.
Gotcha.
So
one of the main things that Mao Mao also had going for her was her very uncaring nature about consuming poisons.
Yeah.
I would say it was I would hazard to say it's borderline obsession with poisons.
Yeah. She even said at one point that she preferred the taste of some of them.
Oh yeah,
it's like spiciness.
Yeah.
To her, yeah.
She was talking about consuming pufferfish venom and feeling all of the effects of it on her body. And
I'm not aware of how accurate that would be on some poison. Some poisons, yes, you can develop like tolerance to it, but certain ones like neurological poisons,
you just die.
You just die.
Full on
or
die.
You become paralyzed for the next decade of your life.
Well, most of those, if you paralyze, you dead, because if you're actually paralyzed in a neurological sense, you're not breathing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is actually a question that I have later, but this is something that I can ask now. As a medical professional, do you think her knowledge on medicines is workable, livable?
For the time frame.
I don't know enough about how medicine was done in the time frame to say yes or no.
Okay. Compared to your modern knowledge, how did her medical knowledge stand up?
I'm trying to think through, because to be honest with you, whenever she was giving medical support, I don't think I was really paying a whole lot of attention.
I can give you an example of like the makeup that was poisoning. That was more than likely an arsenic-based makeup.
Yeah.
How well of a job do you think she did at diagnosing and being able to recognize that was the problem?
I mean, obviously, she's saved one of their lives.
Tried to save them both.
Yeah.
Dumb concubines.
Which I don't think that I don't think that would stem so much so from. I mean, it could stem from medical knowledge, but the way the show kind of painted it, or at least the way it felt to me, was that it was just stuff she had been around and had learned about. So that's why she knew it.
That's fair.
Which, I mean,
with her father being an apothecary,
exactly.
It makes sense.
It's like a conflicts of knowledge, like her being an apothecary, her growing up in a pleasure house.
Yeah.
She just had like a multitude of angles that she had.
Right time, right situation type of learning ability.
Yeah.
Learning environment. That's fair. Hack Doctor was absolutely worthless the entire show. Sweet,
Yeah.
but useless. Sweet but useless.
I mean, she eventually found a reason to hang out with him to make food.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I don't understand your. Well, I mean, I get your comment, but I don't know where it stems from.
The one of the episodes, there's the
Lady who jumps off the
lady who wants to
Wall.
jumps off the wall.
Oh. Yeah, I thought you were talking. I thought it was in reference to the dancer, and I was like, but she didn't kill herself.
But she was planning on it. Yeah.
The dancer?
Yeah.
No.
Pretty sure she talked about it.
Nope. They talk about the somnambulism as a coping mechanism for her wanting to marry the official and not be married to the emperor as his concubine anymore. And she went up there as basically a way of
No, you're
looking
right.
out and waiting for him.
I remember saying this, like, to you while we were watching the show, but I don't remember exactly where.
I just read 2 or 3 lines down.
Oh,
Yes.
the purple?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me Jinchi isn't that's not
That's very
applicable.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. I mean, yeah, no, I think the dancer was just up there as basically a way of getting out her energy and actually dancing, because if you noticed, Mao Mao talks about how she at one time was a very, very good, well-known dancer, right? And then she stumbled in front of the emperor on purpose so that she could watch and become watch out for and become the love and the wife of the official that she was actually in love with. I don't think she was up there to commit suicide, but you're absolutely right, because there was a servant, I think, that was up there.
Somebody was committed.
Somebody jumped in. Yeah, I remember that.
Committed suicide.
Yeah.
And it's just something that happens a lot in.
I thought one of them did jump off the wall.
Yeah,
Maybe I was
they did.
wrong, but
It was
I
a
just don't
servant,
remember
I
what it
think.
But it's just something I don't have a lot of understanding of, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But in a lot of Japanese stuff, especially when it comes down to historical stuff, I just will never understand Eastern fixation on suicide is what I wrote here. I just will never understand it.
We'll talk about it
That's
when we
because
cover
you have
Shogun.
something to live for. That's because you have something to live for. They usually don't.
Well,
Yeah.
perceivably.
Yes,
I mean,
perceivably.
Yes. It still doesn't make sense to me.
It's not really supposed to make sense, I don't think. I mean, to us, it's not our culture.
No, it's not our culture, but I don't find any way to try to make sense of it. Maybe it's just Western culture, but maybe it happens in a lot of anime stuff that is based on history, like seppuku. Everyone knows what seppuku is.
yeah.
But it just doesn't make sense to me.
It's fair. It doesn't have to make sense to everyone. Mao Mao moves pretty quickly from being a laundry girl to a lady in waiting. It's more than likely a cause of Jinchi's affections.
Definitely, he's pulling some strings in the background.
Yeah, which leads me to the next question is, was Jinchi a believable eunuch? Did you believe that he was a eunuch? And how old did you actually think that he was?
I mean, the age part, no idea.
I would have said
fucking,
like
30.
Just from age, I would have said like mid to late 20s.
Yeah, I would have said mid to late 20s as
terribly
well.
far off, but
How about you? How about you? How old?
I had no idea. I mean, late 20s.
I think
no, I didn't know if he was a eunuch or not. I thought I thought he was gay. I mean,
I thought at one point Gao Xuan mentioned that he was supposed to be acting like he was 23 when he was actually 19.
Yeah, he does.
Does-
I do remember that because
But
I
it's
remember
not-
him being a teenager.
But they
Yeah.
sprinkle this out through the entire 24
Yeah.
episodes of oh yeah, he's actually way younger than you think he is. Oh, he's actually not a eunuch. Oh, he's actually way more important.
Yeah.
He's a royal pretty boy. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just for the basics. I was like, if it's classified as a romance anime, I'm like, I was putting it together. I'm like, I don't think he's a eunuch.
no,
No.
It didn't make sense to me.
because he seemed like the main male character.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't think he was either, but at the same time, I was just going at face value. The show told me he was a eunuch. I was like, until they tell me otherwise.
He's a eunuch.
Sure.
He's ballless.
Snip, snip.
One of the conversations that Ethan and I had while we were watching the show was Jinchi wears a lot of purple. And when Jinchi dresses up, Jinchi really dresses up. Yeah. And the first thought that occurred to me was the villain from Warriors of Virtue is, do you think purple is my color? I literally looked at Ethan and I said that to him, and he was like, yeah, okay, that's going in. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Do you think purple is my
I also
color?
then mixed the Gojo, like
Yeah.
hollow purple.
Purple. I'll use my red and then my blue. I'll use my purple.
I also enjoyed. I added this one, but we also both really enjoyed this. How Gao Shan, who is the guard for Jinchi, is basically the one that the royal house is hired to guard him and keep him safe.
He basically has
do
to
his bidding
stay
and
with
stuff.
him.
Be his personal servant,
He
essentially.
is just eternally fed up with his antics. He's just like, why? Why
It's
are we
like
here?
he looks
Like
at
specifically whenever he, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Specifically whenever he's starting to fuck with Mao Mao a little bit, like he's doing things to be an asshole to her a little bit, and Sean's like, "Why? You sure you want to do that?"
You sure that's the choice that you want to make?
Yeah.
It's like, I understand that both of you like each other, but don't really like each other, and you guys are being dipshits about it.
Oh, I didn't add in something I meant to add. Well, we'll get to it. It's later on in the show. Yeah.
Okay.
It has to do with Gao Shan. It was really funny.
In one of the episodes, Mao Mao solves the crime of why the heirs, the young children of the concubines, are dying, and it turns out that it's probably arsenic-based makeup, and she resolved that issue. But then later on, some of the ladies in waiting were still applying the makeup to
They
one
were
of.
hiding it.
Yeah, they were hiding it.
Yeah.
And she bitch slapped that motherfucker.
Yeah.
She dragged her by the hair and like dragged her over and then bitch slapped her. And I was like, oh damn. It was an impressive bitch slap, I'm gonna be honest.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know you did. But yeah, that seems to be a lot of what she does, is where she's presented a problem that literally no one else can solve, and she's just like, oh well, this is common sense. This is what you do. This is why this is the way it is.
Yeah.
She eventually gets fired though.
She does. There's a reason behind it. So whenever she gets abducted at the very beginning, she gets abducted by these guys who are working for or are a part of this one family. And then she is presented to the royal court as someone to work in the palace as a part of their family, so the family will get kickbacks. But it's not her family, it's the one who abducted her.
Yeah.
It's the family that abducted her, which was apparently not an uncommon thing in this universe.
Well, it was like
here.
somebody paying you for bringing a servant.
Yeah.
It was
It's
essentially what
essentially-
that was.
It's
Yeah.
like sailors being shanghaied in the 1800s.
So what happened was one of the concubines or something, or somebody or one of the ladies in waiting, I can't remember which one,
So how that family became
was
disgraced.
related to
Back up
that,
some.
was part of
Oh.
that family, and she got disgraced and she ended up getting executed.
It was the lady who accidentally killed the heir.
Oh yes,
She accidentally killed the baby.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
that lady.
That's what it was.
yeah.
And Jinchi found out and basically said, you are not obligated to be here if you don't want. And she's like, no, I want to be here. And he fires her anyways.
Yeah, but she solves this big problem with the heir. She gets fired. It's a really strange sequence because, and then she goes back to the Red District and she starts learning how to be a courtesan. And then Jinchi comes and purchases her.
Yes, she
Also-
is bought to become basically his assistant.
Also, am I not misremembering it, or is that there was like a miscommunication between Jinchi and Mao Mao about like she wanted to stay, but he
Yes.
thought she wanted to leave, so he's like, "Fuck, I guess
Yeah.
you can
Fuck
leave
it, you can go.
Yeah.
And he gets all depressed and
Yes.
shit. Yeah, he gets all sad boy.
And Gao Shan was like, "Oh God, like just
I have to deal with you again.
Kill
you
me now."
now kiss."
hyper realistic baby.
Yeah,
Now kiss.
kiss.
Kith.
So were you surprised to learn that Mao Mao was adopted by the apothecary, the former court doctor?
Didn't surprise me in the slightest.
No, I wasn't surprised. I was just like, oh, she's adopted, sure.
Yeah.
Did you see who her father was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by that?
Again, surprised? No. It wasn't like
Surprised
out of
in
nowhere
the-
because they lead you up the trail
Yeah.
of
But
crumbs slowly over the course of episodes.
But I mean, when I first watched it, I would have believed that he would have had an interest in her, not necessarily as his daughter, but as a courtesan, because he would have seen her all over at that point, and he would have been able to watch her for years. So, I mean, the second she became a courtesan, it would have been understandable. But given the context of later, they explained that he's after her because, well, that's her father. It made a lot of sense to me. But yeah, I wasn't really necessarily shocked, but
No.
I was a little surprised.
It was not something that I knew, but I don't think it was shocking. I think it was more like, oh, well, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of like Jared said, like the crumbs.
Like
Right?
they
Yeah.
purposely lead you to
Down
the
that
watering
trail.
hole. Yeah.
Because every time you see him, they start talking about Mama
Well,
Mouse.
they keep revealing.
Well, it's like when
slightly
you find
bits
out
of more
who
action.
Jinshi is, it's not a surprise anymore.
Yeah.
They've led you on the crumbs and like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Like, oh, his sister's a high-ranking person. They look so much alike.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, we'll come to that.
Mao Mao's adopted father got fired from the palace. Do you remember what the reason why he got fired?
This was to do with another set of one of the other concubines' heirs died or something, right?
Yeah, so there were two concubines that were giving birth at the same time. One wasn't she wasn't a concubine. She was, I believe, the emperor's wife, because this is the
wife?
current
Yeah, yeah.
emperor's
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
father and mother. And
And he went to the more critical one, which
went-
was not the wife, right?
No, it was the wife,
it was
the
the
wife?
wife.
not the concubine. Because the concubine is the dancer. Is that right?
Adwa.
Yeah, whatever.
I think her name is Adwa.
sure. The one that leaves, right?
No.
No,
Not leave.
No,
It
no,
was the
she was the
one-
purple-haired one. That
What-
I
what-
mean, she left eventually. I
Yeah,
think
she leaves.
eventually.
Yes.
but she's the one who looks exactly like Jinshi.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Is that the one you were saying was his sister? Because
No,
I did not
It's
get the
Adwa.
idea that it was his sister. I
Not
got
his
the idea
sister.
that it was his mother.
If you were to say it with an English accent, it would just be duo.
Aduo.
Her name is Adwa.
Aduo. Yeah, that's his
Mother.
But
That's
it's,
his
But it's
mother,
his
not his
sister.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
his.
thought they said it was his sister
Well,
at one point. But
he was born to Lady Adwa, and
No,
then they
they
swapped.
swapped
the babies
yes,
so that
and what happens is Mao Mao says that could be his sister. That's why.
Yes.
I don't listen. I'm going to be honest. I fell asleep 4 times trying to get through the first 12
Because
episodes.
also they talk around in circles. Like it's never like super direct. It's kind of just like little bits of here. You have to kind of like piece it together sometimes, and then they'll be like 10 episodes later. They'll be like, oh yeah, that thing.
I
yeah.
didn't once fall asleep watching the show.
Surprisingly,
No, I did. I was being sarcastic.
That
Oh.
was sarcasm.
Yeah.
well, I'm
In the last,
disappointed in
six-
you.
Well, it's
My
not that I
favorite
didn't like
cast.
it. We were watching it at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like,
Yeah, there were a couple episodes where I watched to the end, and I would look over about 10 minutes, and you'd be asleep, and I'd be like, "Well, I'm gonna have to watch this one again."
I did. I watched the first 12 episodes and I fell asleep each time I tried to watch them in 3 period blocks. Or 3 episode blocks.
All right, so there are 3 actual more bullet points that I have. Number 1, what do you think Mao Mao was teaching the concubines? What do you think she was teaching them to do? Because I'm pretty sure it's titty fucking.
That
I'm pretty sure it's titty fucking
seems like it. Because she makes reference to it
a lot.
earlier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like she learned it from one of the the courtesans
Her sisters, the big
Yeah.
sisters.
that are much more well endowed than her.
Yes.
And she's like, I can't use this technique.
But you can.
yeah, they're definitely anime endowed.
I guess
mean,
I
it's-
do not remember.
Yeah,
that.
no, it was one. I was playing Mad or something, and I was like had the head over here, and I just kind of like heard it, and I like looked. I was like, hey.
Titties.
That's what happens when you fall asleep watching a show. You miss the titty fucking.
Yeah.
No, I stayed awake for the last half.
Oh,
I think that
seriously,
was.
He's like, I got
early.
interested once I realized
the
that they were
first
titty
time
fucking.
was really early.
It was
in the show.
really
So that's
early.
why I didn't connect the
But
dots.
by the end of the show, whenever she's Jinshi's assistant,
Yeah.
she's like going to the courtesans and specifically teaching them, like, hey, you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one that's like, it's the one whose kid
I wish
died,
we were
right?
video
Yeah.
just for that.
So
She's
la-
like, he
lady-
doesn't visit me anymore.
Lady Gyokyo is the Scarlet Lady. I forget the it wasn't Adwa because Adwa was Jinshi's mother.
Yeah.
It was the other concubine though.
The
She was
blue
the one
hair.
in
The one that
Yeah.
almost died from the
Poisoning.
poisoning from the
Yes.
makeup.
And she's
Yeah.
like, he
Because
doesn't
her
visit me,
dumbass
but like
fucking
once a
consorts.
month.
Yeah, and she
Liwa,
literally
right?
Liwa.
Lady.
And she leans down and I'm pretty sure she says, "Titty fuck him, do it, titty fuck him."
Do it.
But yeah,
I did not
mean,
see that one on the subtitles.
He doesn't say it. It's just like whisper, 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 whisper.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about devaluing a prostitute. Did you know that's how you devalue a prostitute?
And again, did I know that? No. Does it make sense? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
And
if they have a baby or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, they're unmarried
they get
concubines,
the
technically.
downstairs mix up after they've had a baby. Yeah.
Wow. Are you telling me I have a downstairs mix-up because I've had a baby?
I'm pretty sure that's not what I said, but
You absolutely
Did
100% said you get a downstairs mix-up
Mix-up.
after you have a baby.
well,
Well,
You're
that's,
saying
that's
no.
great to know that you're old Greg and you enjoy a good downstairs
Let's,
mix-up.
let's use some math here. She's got 2 kids.
That means I have twice the downstairs mix-up.
I just wanted to quote
So,
old Greg. I'm gonna be honest.
Put it together as a double negative, and now it's a positive. That's how you spin your way out of that shit.
Man,
isn't it?
That's not how that works.
That's exactly
That's
how
how he
math
tries to math it out, and that's
Negative
not
and
how it
negative. You times them together, positive.
Yep.
I would like to start my 4-part apology by asking you, do you love me? Do you think you could love me?
Because you learned to love me.
You ever drink Bailey's from a shoe?
You want to go to a club where we all wee on each other?
My favorite line is whenever he holds up the freaking picture of Bailey's that he drew, and he goes, "This is closest to Bailey's as you can get without getting your eyes wet."
I do watercolors.
Would you like to see my downstairs mix-up?
I got a
I, love,
mangina.
I do like, though, that you were like, I didn't say that.
Literally 30 seconds after
Immediately
he just said it.
backpedaling as he said it to his wife.
He tried to gaslight the whole room.
When we
What
have
is the phrase? Is deny something,
Deny,
depose?
defend, depose.
Yeah, that's what
when we have a video podcast, you can actually just be like, hang on, edit this and it,
And just
rewind it. Back.
do it again.
Yep, definitely said that.
He, in fact, did fuck up.
And this is what he knew.
I love your downstairs mix up. It's fine.
Thanks, babe. When we go spelunking later, I'll remember that. And if you don't understand that, go back and listen
Yeah.
to the Spelunky episode.
We don't
from
have to know
Secret
which
Level.
episode it is, though. It's
He's looking it up now.
Listen,
Titled
it's,
Spelunky?
it's on there. No, it's not titled Spelunky.
just listen to
It's-
the rest, and by the time you get to it, you'll forget what you were listening to it for. So it's fine.
All right, so the final question while he's looking that up for the episode for solo leveling. Would you watch more? Would you watch another
I
season?
feel
of
like
it?
we're not going to have a choice.
No, you're not. Because I really like it, and so does he.
Even if we say no, I feel like
Would you watch
you're
more?
gonna be like,
No.
bitch, we're watching this.
Fuck you and your kaiju number 8.
Hey,
We tried a lot of
peeing from
those.
hands.
We tried to watch a lot of those that you want us to watch, and I tell
It's
you,
not the same kind of anime that we watch.
I would not. I would rather watch this than those.
Any progress?
We're tip to tip this episode.
wow.
That was the title.
Wow.
Because at one point, Jarrett yells, "We're tip to tip."
I don't
like-
remember.
It was around the time we were talking about spelunking, too, oddly enough.
90% of the titles that I make up, I don't even
Remember what they were?
remember
Yeah.
what I said.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
is my
answer
first
to
time
your
here.
to the question was no, you didn't enjoy it.
It's fine.
Would you watch more of it?
I'm gonna have to.
No. Would you watch more of it willingly
No.
on your own? Okay. How about you?
I'm the same. I don't think I would watch more of it on my own. I'll watch it for the podcast. I don't think it was a bad show. It just
like I
it's
said,
not
it's
my
fine.
cup of tea.
It's the same thing with us with your guys' anime choice.
Yeah.
Except for I refuse. So
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
Ethan
that's
is
the
the same. Ethan actively dislikes our animes.
Yeah, they don't actively dislike this.
Yeah.
I actively dislike a lot of the type of anime
That they pick.
That they pick.
That's fair. How about you?
I would watch more of it. Yeah,
You have watched more of it.
It's crazy.
We
You guys
have-
are caught up.
We
You've
have watched more
I
of
have
it.
watched
Yeah.
I enjoyed it pretty good. It's not bad.
We're at season 2, episode 3 or 4, something like that. Because that was.
Oh, so you're not that far.
No.
I thought there was more. Oh, there's not more.
There was
dub.
no dubbed.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, I thought because it was while we were
The dub
watching
is
it
way
was
behind
when
as
season 2
normal.
came
I
out.
thought there was
Yeah,
way
the-
more out than that, though.
There is subbed.
So
There's
No, I
subbed,
thought there
yeah.
was way more. That's what I'm saying. I thought
if
there
they
was
put
way
more out, I didn't know about it yet.
Yeah, I don't
So-
know about it yet either. And that's surprising because we both really liked the show.
Yeah, but unless you're on Crunchyroll, it's not going to be like popping up, being like, "Hey, there's new episode."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's dubbed all the way to looks like 1, 2, 3, 6. Episode 6.
Six.
So they're
So
not
we're-
There's a couple.
So we're
more
only
out.
2 more.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And now we're going to go to the ratings if no one has anything else. Yes? No?
Yeah,
no?
I'm good.
No? Okay. On IMDb, it it scored an 8.5 out of 10. And that was for 11,000 reviewers. All 24 episodes actually averaged over 7.5. On Crunchyroll, it received a 4.9 out of 5 with 190,000 reviews. And 97% of those reviews were all 5-star reviews. I think the last 3% was 1 and 2 stars, 1 4-star, I think, 4, 3, 2, somewhere. It was a really low 4-star count.
The next one down was 4-star, and the others were like the
2
same.
and 1, yeah. But yeah, it wasn't that much.
I didn't want to rate all the episodes because there's 24 of them.
Yeah.
and that
That's
would
a
take
lot.
longer
Yeah.
than the episode to read out.
That's why we just gave the summary version of it. Ready? Opinion time. 3.
Ethan,
Well, that's me.
I have to look
I'd
at
probably
what
give
it
it like a 7.8.
Okay.
I like it pretty good. It's still anime. It's not my favorite sort of media, but as far as anime goes, if I were to rate it out of all anime at 0 to 10, it'd probably rank like 8.5 or higher.
Okay. 6. And that would be me. I don't really like most animes, and when I do pick up an anime and actually watch it, I usually rate it a lot higher than I would most other things because, well, it's something that actually caught my attention. I would probably give it an 8.45. I really liked it. I liked her unflappability with most things and her obsession with
Flat deliveries and
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Insults.
Yeah. Ready? Actually, I need to do this one.
It doesn't matter which
It
one.
doesn't matter.
3.
Yeah. I'll give you 2 different ratings. So if this was just on the first half, it'd be like a 5 or a 5.5 because that is some of the most boring anime I've ever watched. Like I watched it, but I was like, nothing's happening.
After she gets bought by Jinji, it does pick up.
Yeah, the second half is much better. I would say 7.25 for the entire thing.
Okay.
Just kind of balancing it out.
Tyler?
I kind of agree with what Jarrett said. Like the first half is a 5 because it's definitely slow. That's I think one of the first times I've ever fell asleep watching a show. Most of the time I pay enough attention that I'm awake. And I did have to rewatch it because I missed several episodes sleeping through them. I give it like a 7 overall. I can see how people would enjoy it. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like I don't think it's I think it's well written as far as like dialogue and things like that. It's just
I would say the second half was much better at being like a mystery. And
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
there's something to keep you going
Yeah.
from episode to episode.
they do a lot better of an overarching plot.
yeah.
I kind of see where the plot is going to go a little bit. But that's a discussion for season 2. That's a discussion for season 2.
Yep.
To see
Is there
if
going to be
my
24 episodes of that?
probably.
That'd be a long time for it to finish dubbing.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, I mean,
Considering there's only like 8 episodes out right
Yeah.
now
yep.
that are
Like
subbed,
this summer.
and 6 of them are dubbed, which it seems like they're just 2 episodes behind on dub.
I think it's one of those things where they released half of it, like 12 episodes, And then they did 12
there was
episodes
a
like
pause.
6 months later.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those type of.
It felt like
It's
it.
an anime typical thing.
Yes,
for
it definitely felt like it
longer
because it
episodes.
felt
Definitely older. This just seems more like the older production style of like multiple arcs that are like sandwiched together instead of having like a generally like larger arc. Whereas like a lot of anime now is just like it's like 10 episodes or 13 episodes or 12
for
episodes
one big arc.
for one big arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one did like the first half was extremely episodic. And
Yes.
it didn't feel like it meshed together very well. But I think that the second half was much more cohesive.
Episodic works, but you have to have some level of like plot intrigue to kind of make it run together to give them to be
Look
like
at House.
yes.
Yeah.
House is a really good example of this. So, like, the interpersonal relationship between the three main people, not the workers, but the three main people, which is House and Cuddy and Wilson, is the main plot of the show.
Yeah.
But you have all these episodic things in between, which are how the people interact, how the main characters interact with each other.
And it's usually just like a stinger at the end that'll like, oh, here's the new development in the plot.
Yeah, yeah, and that works really well. The problem where anime isn't very good at usually with episodic is that they don't really connect very well.
Yeah.
Between different.
It'll
episodes.
bounce.
Yeah.
It'll bounce all around, and then you'll catch something from 3 episodes ago, and you're like, the fuck?
Yeah,
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
yeah. I think they could do a little bit better job of that, and I think they did figure that out as they were going through the
Yeah.
story.
Seemed like it.
Yeah,
I really like it.
yeah, I did too.
Yeah, we're going to probably end up doing season 2.
Okay.
I know that you guys are bored with it, but I liked it. I liked it.
I mean, if it keeps with the pace
Oh,
that
yeah,
the
we
second
came
half
around.
was, it's fine.
yeah.
As long as season 2 keeps that same momentum.
Season 2 is pretty good so far. It's pretty good. I might have stayed awake for it and watched it, though you did not. It's pretty good so far.
Yeah. I've definitely watched worse shit for this podcast.
You've watched Cry Wilderness and Lucy.
I meant like
Yes.
like being serious, like
Oh.
not for like a joke.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There
Yeah.
was Secret Invasion.
It was Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
That
Rebel
was worse.
Moon.
Rebel Moon, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I've watched. I'm like, this was a waste of my fucking time.
Especially Secret Invasion and Rebel Moon. Oh my
That
god.
one was more disappointing. It was like, this could have been good.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because the cast was fantastic, and then they just shot the bed. I mean, it's just fucked. So
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I think that's it.
Nope, that's it.
no, I want to go home.
Okay.
Can we go home?
Yeah.
I have to go home and wash my hair because I have to
home
go
now.
get my hair cut.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Use the link in the description. You can go to our Discord and tell us whether you like the episode or not. The show or not. That's what I meant to say, not this episode. I mean, you can tell us if you like the episode
Sure.
too.
We
Appreciate
don't-
you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Leave us a like, subscribe,
Rate,
punch the
subscribe.
bell.
No, you know what I want people to do? I want people to come into the Discord solely and tag Ethan
Yeah.
and just put a number.
Yep.
That'll tell me what you rated. Like, put a number and put the episode title, and that'll tell me what you rated it.
Yeah, give me a number.
Logan.
Yeah, Corey and Logan.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We've been getting 10 views an episode now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I don't know who the other fucking 8 are.
They don't join the Discord.
Are they in Poland?
I think one of them's my mom. Like, legitimately, because she gets onto me all the time whenever I cuss
Swear.
too much. Specifically saying GD.
Hi, Tyler's mom.
Hi, Tyler's mom.
Hello, Marcy.
Now I know your name, Marcy. Hello.
I will hunt you down.
No, I won't.
It's not.
Don't listen to your son.
She only lives about 500 feet from Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I definitely
You've
know
been
where
to
you
my
live.
house?
I definitely know where you live then.
Like, if you're looking at the front of my house, left.
Yeah,
Yep.
well,
Like,
yep. I
not
know,
the trailer, but the brick house.
I know exactly where she is.
Yeah.
Well, tell everyone on the internet about where your mom lives.
They don't know where he lives.
12869.
Is that our actual?
It's not.
Jesus. Doctor. I mean, I know no one listens to this, but geez.
Oh man.
Sad Monkey's got to go home.
I also didn't finish the address either. So if people want to just start looking up, I mean, I guess they could figure it out because
context clues. We give away a lot of shit on.
we
do.
really do.
Seeing as we were just talking earlier about the fire that happened in our
Yeah.
town.
Yeah. All right.
It's not very hard.
Thank you guys for listening. We will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Before we reveal more information about our secret identities and secret